Good morning and a very warm, in fact hot welcome from Wimbledon Spiritualist Church. Wherever you are in the world or if you're here in the congregation, you know, it feels as though it's already in the mid-30s. So very hot, very sticky. And, you know, we're going to have a wonderful service here this morning. We have a great friend to this church and also, you know, a minister of our own church in Walton-on-Thames, and that is Ashley Mills. So we're welcome to Ashley and say good morning to all of you out there in, you know, our link from YouTube and Facebook. And it's lovely to see so many people have made the effort to come to Wimbledon this morning. And, you know, great to see you. And remember for later that sometimes YouTube is so many seconds after the live transmission. So I'd like to start by asking Ashley Mills to come and open up the service in prayer. Ashley?
Good morning, and it's an honour to be asked to serve Wimbledon Church again. If you'd like to close your eyes, bow your heads wherever you are and whatever is most comfortable for you. Divine Spirit, Mother, Father, God, we thank you for gathering us here together at this time and in your name. We ask a blessing on all those present, all their families, friends, animal companions, neighbours, colleagues and communities. May all those in need receive according to thy will. And may you guide those providing care at all levels, whether it be to our beautiful earth, to our animals, or to our communities and countries. We ask that all that is said this day is done for the highest of good for all concerned. Amen.
Thank you very much, Ashley. In fact, I should have said president, but I regard being a minister as being president. And our other president here, Ray, is not well today. So for those of you that haven't seen me before, I'm normally doing the refreshments in the church, but I'm the other president here at the church because we do it as a team, Ray and myself. So for those that haven't seen me before, then pleased to meet you. Okay, now we're going to have our healing prayer. And I'm going to read out our names that we have. If those of you that are online have a name of anyone that is in need of healing at this time, as I say, think of Ray, because he's not chairing this morning because, say, he's poorly with this problem he's got with the eye, and medication is making him unwell. But we also think of John, and Nellie and Charlotte and Oliver and Alison and Heidi and Lisa and Chris. They're the names that we've been given. If we see any other names that will come up. And we changed our healing prayer quite some time ago to the Serenity Prayer. But if we can just have a few moments of that peace where we allow the healing angels to just come around us and take those names from us and take that healing request from us to those individuals, because we know the power of healing. We know that healing works and that energy of love works. So if you think you're just a tiny cog, every tiny spark from every individual makes that battery power to make healing go all around the world. So if we just think of those in our hearts, think of those that we know, think of those that are going back home to spirit world, heaven, as we also call it. And then join with us as we read together the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And then this is the time where we say to people, if you can, you know, put a small donation to keeping our church open via the PayPal, going on to the big wide web and looking for the PayPal.com, PayPal LAD proms, as you'll see it up on the screen. And it's the time where we ask George, who goes around with the collection plate at the church. And during the time that George goes around with the collection, is the time that we actually have a few adverts from Spiritual Psychics TV, which is a wonderful organisation and gets to so many people. So look at the adverts and see that you can, wonderful directory that they've got and the various different events that are coming up, including the new magazine, which is absolutely fantastic. At these times when so many things are closing down, that there's a launch of a new magazine is fantastic. So have a look at those adverts.
My Spirit Life is a free online interactive magazine for those who have an interest in improving their spiritual lives. Authors can upload images, videos, and audio clips to their own articles. The public can place comments, rate the article, and follow the author. All articles are vetted before being published. For more information and to place your own article, please visit myspiritlife.co.uk. SPTV are proud to present an evening of mediumship with the wonderful Deb Clark. Join us for a private event on the 20th of August 2022 at the Roebuck Inn, Wickham. For more details visit events.spiritualpsychicstv.online.
MySpiritualDirectory.com is one of the fastest growing online free listing service. Our search directory offers geolocation feature, rating ability, review system, map location, customer comment, YouTube video, gallery, social media sharing, direct contact with the lister, simple online booking and payment system. It's free to register and use. It even creates your own mini web page, which you can update at any time, and yes, it's still free, no monthly or yearly fees. 100% free. Creates your own profile page. Add social media and other links. Add a mini gallery and a YouTube video. Rating, reviews and comments. Includes online booking and payments. So, if you're looking for a medium or a reader, even a church, maybe a healer, or any other spiritual service, then visit myspiritualdirectory.com.
Tomorrow from 11 a.m, Alison and Dawn hosts their morning show with live readings, chat, special guests, and the latest news from SPTV. Matt and Kirsty host their show tomorrow from 8 p.m. The show consists of answering your spiritual questions and offering free mediumship and oracle card readings.
And welcome back. Hopefully you've found that very interesting, that you can go and use the directory and find your local church, especially for those that are actually viewing us from long distances away, that are unable to come to Wimbledon Church in person. We'd love to welcome you here at the church, but if you're hundreds of miles away or thousands of miles away, then use the network. That's the important thing, and it's fantastic having that technology to do so. But as I say, for those that are in the church, we now go on to our reading, and a medium herself, Ashley, has brought a reading to do. And as I see names on the screen, if I can see them, then I will say hello to them. Okay, but I'll pass you over. We have Diane Burston that's online saying good morning and blessings to all. So welcome, Diane, if this is your first time. And Pammy Gee, healing for Joyce, please, and my friend Ty. So please, if you can add them to your healing lists, those of you that are healers. We have Tracy Jones, we know our own Tracy, so good morning to you, Tracy. I say hello from all of us here at Wimbledon. Kay Cook, good morning, lovely to be here. It's lovely that you're joining us, Kay, because our family's been growing. And Barbara AB, good morning to all, love and light. So welcome, Barbara. And our own Olwyn, it's lovely, Olwyn, that you can join us from the comfort of your home, because we miss it when you're not here physically, and we know then that you're joining us. And Stacey Shaw, lovely to see that you're with us this morning, Stacey. I love the picture of the stag. And Christine Davis as well, lovely to see you on this morning. And she's saying good morning, peeps. And Millie B, we know is a regular, is saying good morning to Richard, Jackie, and all at Wimbledon. So thank you for coming on. And Kay Cook, Whispers of Serenity. And she's also saying good morning to us. So it is nice to know. And Margaret Bartley, who has occasionally come here, but is a little bit of a distance away, is saying good morning to us as well. So it's lovely to know that you're online, Margaret, as well. Hope that you're keeping well. It was good seeing you the other week. And, you know, take care of yourself, as all of the individuals. And I actually want to say a hello to Christine, our own Christine Woodham, that lives in Spain, is often online, and it's her birthday this week, as well as our own Phil. They've got the same birthday date. So think of them as birthday wishes. And I hope that Christine is watching us from Spain, as she usually does. Ashley's saying hello to us all. He's out with the family this morning, using the most of the school holidays to go out and enjoy having 3 sons with him. And Pamela Watson is saying evening from Australia, New South Wales. So Pamela, lovely that you're joining us, almost the furthest distance you can. Amome is asking for healing for Linda. So very much we will add Linda to our healing, and thank you for letting us know. We know that that healing is going all around the world. So that's the wonder of this technology that has been speeded through us with the 2 years of COVID. And Suzanne Ellis is saying good morning, healing and loving light for Ray. Thank you very much, Susan. He really needs it. It's so unusual for him to be as poorly for as long. So he really does need, you know, as much thoughts that everyone can do for him. So thank you very much for that. And knowing that you know, people all over the world are here with us this morning is great. And I'm going to ask Ashley to come and for you all to listen very intently on the reading. Ashley.
Hello again. The reading is from Soul Truth by Denise and Les Pilgrim, and it's entitled Live the Philosophy of Truth. There are many who spend their whole lives on earth asleep to the truth of who and what they are as soul and spirit, only to awaken to this truth in death. As we walk our daily path, we will at times observe synchronicities of many kinds, and these are simply the workings of spirit and the spirit laws in action, for the law is always at work. We learn much of the philosophy of spirit, but we should know that these philosophies given to us by the divine spirit are the very foundation of living and are to be lived by on a daily basis, as it is truth that aids the spiritual growth of our soul. When the philosophy of spirit becomes part of our daily living, truth becomes part of our being. It is our duty to search for the deeper meaning of life on a soul level, and this we can do by connecting with our soul in the stillness as often as we can. And in this way, we also connect with the highest power that there is in the divine spirit. Put your faith in that which your soul knows to be true, rather than that which your mind thinks is true, remembering that you are more than just a label, but are in truth the greatest of all God's handiworks as a soul of his creation. Thank you.
Wonderful reading, Ashley. And we are such believers of synchronicity here at the church. There is always the work of spirit going around us and amongst us. And when we think it's random, we suddenly bump into people, and it isn't. The amount of planning that is done with synchronicity. I remember being in America, in California, and then bumping into somebody we hadn't seen for about 3 years in America. And it was fantastic because we heard her voice in the post office, and we thought, if that isn't synchronicity, that we're in this little post office in this little town in California, and we bump into someone from 3 years before. So that's wonderful. And it's time again for me to ask Ashley once again to get up and to address us. So please give your love and attention to Ashley.
Thank you. Well, if I may, this is the point where I always feel inspired by Spirit to talk on something they wish everyone to listen to. And I want to pick up on that word synchronicity, because it is so naturally connected to our beliefs as spiritualists, to our way of life as spiritualists. The more we do go in to the quiet and listen to the inner wisdom of our soul, rather than the noise of what surrounds us, it is much easier to pick up on the flow and frequencies of the natural laws, the spiritual laws. And when we are in that flow, everything seems to move with ease. Everything seems to connect, rather like pieces of a jigsaw, perfectly merging together. And so I ask you all on this day and going forward to make time for your own soul. Make time to be still and quiet, to listen to the beauty of that inner wisdom, for it will always guide you truthfully and knowingly on the right path. It may not reveal the whole path to you in one go. It might light the first stepping stone or the next couple, but in reality, that is all we need. For when we have true faith and trust in Spirit and the divine, when we put our step forward, not knowing what else is to follow, the rest of our path enlightens. And that is also in ever-present reality with the people that we meet. And I feel very blessed to be able to honour many people that I have connected with since I consciously went on my spiritual path as a teenager. The synchronicities I have had over the years have been a true blessing in my life. And I hope you all feel that sense of gratitude and blessing when you understand that there are no accidental meetings. Even if people aren't meant to be in our life for our whole lifetime, they are here to teach us something. They are here to help us learn and grow and move forward. So we honour all those that we have connected with for being part of our journey. And we honour all those that are to come. Bless you all.
Thank you, Ashley. Something to think about with the synchronicity. I'm sure we've all got many stories, and it's all about having that faith, because there are some things we know just happen and we can't necessarily explain, but we just know. It's a bit like tapping into electricity. We know that it's there, we can't see it, but we know it. And I just want to share, as Ashley gets herself together, I've been having some sleepovers with grandchildren, and my grandson was in our spare room, and there's mirrored wardrobes, and he'd taken his magazine in, and he's 7.5, Ethan, and he came running in and he said, "Nanny, my magazine has gone all strange with the mirror." And it was trying to explain to him how everything is backwards in a mirror, and trying to think of the scientific reason and saying, well, it's all to do with light. It's all to do with the way, you know, that different folds of light happen. And if he wants to read it, he'll have to read it through another mirror on the mirror, so that he could see it. But it's like, you know, we have to take some things knowing that they happen, even if we don't actually understand exactly why it happens. We just know. So I thought it was a lovely, simple way of sort of saying, sometimes you just go with the flow, because you know that's what it is, that's meant to be. Like we can't see the air, but we know that we breathe in. We can't see, you know, certain things, and we know that love. So I want you to give that love to Ashley now, because, you know, you have loved ones suddenly on your doorstep. You'd hopefully greet them with more of a grunt or a nod or a, you know, but with love and with welcoming, because that energy resonates then through the whole of the church and to Ashley, and just builds up that battery power, and just you can just feel that love of when our friends and loved ones come from the spirit world. So please give your love and attention, and to say, anyone on YouTube, remember that there are so many seconds delay. So if Ashley is working online, then, you know, please try and answer as quickly as possible. But also know it will take a few seconds for us to receive it this end. So thank you. So once again, please, your attention for Ashley.
Thank you very much. So while I allow our beautiful spirit loved ones, friends and colleagues to connect, I always like to mention that I get information in a variety of ways. Sometimes spirit give me images or words in my mind's eye. Sometimes I sense things around people. Sometimes it feels like spirit are talking to me. But the main thing is that spirit pass through evidence that you can understand. It's not for me to understand the information, so I always give it on a literal level first. And if you can't understand it that way, I will go back in and ask how spirit think you could understand it on a symbolic level. But I do feel guided to someone here in the church. First of all, I'd like to come to the lady in the very bright dress here, please. Yes, the lady behind with the glasses. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us here at church. As I'm drawing my connection to you, I feel I've got a gentleman on a father vibration here with you. Now that could be father, father-in-law, or a gentleman that was just very protective and father-like towards you. I do feel quite tall with this gentleman, but not quite 6 foot. I feel very smartly dressed because he's coming in a 3-piece suit, not just a jacket and trousers, but with a waistcoat as well. And I feel well coordinated with my breast pocket handkerchief and tie. I want to say he was a very dapper gentleman. If I could hear your voice, please, my love. Just a yes or a no is absolutely fine. Thank you so much. Okay. And he's making me aware of the need to wear reading glasses, but not glasses at other times, just for reading. But he's also making me aware of the strength of glasses increasing towards the end of his life. It was very hard for him to see things at the very end of his life, he's telling me. But what never failed him was his sight of people's character. He was an incredibly good judge of character. He didn't have to know people well, but he just had this knack of working out who were the people that you could count on, who were the people that you could trust, and who were the people. He's being diplomatic. He's saying using brevity of attention towards. Okay, he didn't suffer fools. He certainly didn't allow people to pull a fast one over him, is the phrase he's using. And he would have been incredibly protective if he thought anyone close to him was at the mercy of someone trying to do the same. Okay. He's mentioning someone that you know that is trying to think of having work done on their home. Now, I'm not sure whether it's something minor or whether it's a large-scale project, but he's talking about getting people in for quotes for work. Okay? And I feel that this is on a friend level to you rather than family member. But what he's saying is he's going to try and come round to be helpful so that they do not get taken advantage of regarding quotes and the work being done. Because it is important that they feel they can trust the people that they agree to do the work for them, just as anyone would like to. But he just has this aspect of his character that's very savvy, very worldly wise. I don't want to say he's skeptical, because even though he didn't have an easy life, he didn't let skepticism knock his faith in humanity. That's something that was with him right till his passing, and it's still with him now in spirit. He still has a great love of humanity and a hope of that the good will win all. Okay. He's saying thank you for the prayers you've been sending up to people that you know need prayers on many levels, not just on a physical level, also on an emotional level or a mental health level. Particularly, you've been sending thoughts out for people in that vein. Okay. He's suddenly bringing in a small dog, please. Now, I don't know whether you remember a small dog towards the end of his life or just during part of his life where you were connected. If you don't understand it literally within the family, when the energy of dogs come in symbolically, it's to do with trust and loyalty. So he's saying, again, consider the people that you spend the most time with. Who are those that are loyal to you as much as you're loyal to them? Who puts their trust in you as much as you put your trust in them? And who can you just naturally let go, rather like a ripple effect, more towards the outside of your social circle, where you don't have to give them the time and attention that they ask for if you don't have to. Okay, and that's not being rude or disrespectful, that's just being honest, because your time is precious. You have a lot of pulls on your time and attention, and it's important that that time and attention is well eked out, he's saying. Okay. He suddenly wants to put a great big bowl of fruit salad in front of you. And I don't just want sort of basic fruits like apples and pears. I want mango, I want pineapple, I want bananas, I want all kinds of fruits in this, so that there's real variety, there's real taste and flavour and something to enjoy. So I don't know whether that's a memory link of something he used to enjoy or whether it's just symbolic, but he's asking you to take that fruit and that variety symbolism and embrace that. He's suddenly showing me the image of the Sydney Opera House. Now, I don't know whether he had work colleagues or friends from that part of Australia, but he's showing me the Sydney Opera House. Okay. If you don't understand that literally, either the name Sydney links somewhere for you, or a love of performance. Would you understand this gentleman loving either live music or theatre? Okay, let me go in and ask, that's fine. I'd much rather you say if you don't understand why that link's given. He's talking about when it first was built, it divided opinion. Some people loved the design of it, some people didn't. And he says, whenever we have to make choices in life, some people will agree and some people won't. But the main thing, as long as you are happy with the decision that you have made, that is all that matters. Okay? As long as you can stand by and live by the decisions that you are happy with, that is all that matters. Okay, thank you. And he's mentioning November as being a significant month. Okay. Because he's showing me waving sparklers, not just holding them, but actually making patterns in the air with the beautiful sparks that come out, and just enjoying simple pleasures. We don't have to make grand gestures. We don't have to spend a lot to do something that brings us joy and gives other people pleasure when we spend time together. So he says, please be mindful of really appreciating and feeling gratitude with those little things in life that make you smile and make you laugh, because that's what keeps us going, he said, that laughter. And I always say bless you and thank you for working with me. Okay. Okay, if I can just have a roll of the names online, please, because I feel I have to go to someone online for the next message, Richard. Thank you very much. Oh, Sarah, I think I'm coming to you. Sarah Matthews. Yes. Good morning, Sarah. Thank you very much for joining us. The first thing I got was a loved one coming forward with a feeling of great discomfort in the digestive area. I'm feeling a sense of reflux and real nauseousness with this communicator. And I do understand that there's a slight time delay for you to clarify that information. But I also want a lot of hospital investigations with this loved one before they passed. And I'm just asking them to take that feeling away, because it's hard to work experiencing that sensation as well as trying to do the mediumship. Okay. I'm also feeling an increase in my physical being, as if I had bloating or a distended stomach with all these sensations and issues going on with this communicator. Now, this might be a family member, this might be a friend, but until I can get that confirmation from you, my lovely, I will keep going with the information that I'm being given by this soul. I'm getting a love of very uplifting, joyful, vibrant music with this communicator. They wouldn't have had a problem dancing to the radio, enjoying times together where music was around. Great, thank you very much. So we know it's on a friend level. Thank you for that clarification, Sarah. I just want to put lots of different music with your friend's energy, lots of vibrancy, a real joie de vivre, really trying to get the most out of life for all the time that your friend was alive. And for the most part, excuse me a second, they didn't like the beginnings of this health issue get them down. It was only right at the very, very end where I get a sense that they had to succumb. But they tried to grit it out. They tried to live with it and just do as much as they could for themselves whilst they were still able to. It was not easy right at the very, very end to ask for help, but they tried to be as independent for as long as they could, is what I'm feeling with their energy. What I'm being asked to say for you personally, Sarah, is do not let a life situation get blown out of proportion. Try and see it in perspective for what it is. Because very often, if we get emotionally caught up in a situation, our emotions can take over. And your friend doesn't want that. Your friend wants you to see the situation with clear glasses and to be able to work out a solution to resolving a situation that you're currently dealing with. Okay, bless you. Well, you're calling her stubborn. I would like to say stoic. It's a different way of mentioning that strength of will. This lovely friend of yours is very determined that you don't let a current situation overwhelm you or stop what you're aiming to do. It's part of the process, but if you find a solution to put it behind you, you'll find that you'll be able to carry on completing a situation in your life a lot smoother, a lot easier. Sometimes Spirit do put tests in our way to see if we truly want something enough. And I know it doesn't always feel easy at the time, but when we think in the perspective of finding the solution, even if it wasn't the original way we'd hoped that things get dealt with, then we are open to the creativity of the universe, allowing us to complete things in divine order. Okay. What I'm also being given for you is an apple. Now, traditionally, a lot of people associate apples with teaching or teachers, so I don't know whether that links with you or with your lovely friend in spirit, but I do want to give you this apple as a sense of well done, because what I'm feeling with your friend is that she says you've got through other trials and tribulations in your life, So this current situation you're dealing with shouldn't be any different. You've set yourself the benchmark that you can overcome things. So please keep going. Feel that persistence, feel that motivation of what it will feel like when you reach that goal and complete this phase that you're going through. I'm also feeling that your friend had a plait down her back. Now, she might not have always worn her hair in a plait, but I certainly feel in weather like this that her hair would have been plaited as another piece of evidence. She's also showing me plates that are mounted on the wall. So I don't know whether that is evidence for someone around you or evidence of someone in her life, but she's showing me plates wall mounted on the wall in some way as being displayed rather than actually being used. She's also giving you a beautiful red balloon. She wants you to have a reason to celebrate. She wants you to feel happy and positive. And I just want to give an overwhelming sense of motivation for you, of support towards you, and love from your friend. And I will say thank you for working with me. I'm going to return back to the church here because I feel that the next reading is for someone in the church. Okay. Can I come to the lady at the back with the white t-shirt with the flowers on, please? Good morning, bless you. Thank you for joining us this beautiful day. As I'm being asked to link with you, I've got a gentleman not very much taller than me, so only about 5'7", 5'8". Quite stocky build with this gentleman, quite muscular and very capable at using his hands in life. He wasn't afraid of rolling his sleeves up and getting stuck into things. But what he is being honest with is he knew his limits. He could do things to a certain level, but then he knew that sometimes he would need to call on someone more professional to finish off a job. Okay? And what he's asking me to say to you is don't be afraid to call on someone with more skill in a particular area than you have as well. Okay? It will be a worthwhile use of pennies, is the phrase he's saying. Don't feel bad that you're going to use up maybe savings. Bless you, Sarah. Thank you for that acknowledgement. Because he says it's better it done well once than have to repeat the job and actually end up spending more because you've had to do it twice. Okay, and that's the way you need to think. It's quality of work so that it's done to the right standard. Okay. Interesting. He's giving me the image of the kind of wave-like glass, circular glass that you might be familiar with lighthouses. Would you understand someone with a certain pane of glass like that in their home? Or it might be a memory link with this gentleman? Yeah, I think so. Because he's just suddenly showing me a single window pane, but it's not just flat, it's waved, but also circular pattern. Yeah, yeah. And it's a beautiful, what I would call an amber colour, a beautiful yellowy orange colour. And with that energy, Spirit want you to feel confident. Yellow is about confidence. It's about self-worth, self-esteem, standing your ground. Now, that's not being stubborn, but it is being assertive. So if anyone isn't treating you in the way that you would like to be treated, he's asking you to put your shoulders back, chin up, and walk tall. Don't let people beat you down just for the sake of them being right. Okay, it's not about who's right or who's wrong. It's about something being completed. Okay. But he doesn't want you feeling demeaned or belittled in the process. Okay. He's suddenly slowing and deepening my breath when he connects closer to me. So I don't know whether you would understand him having a breathing condition, or symbolically he's just asking you to be mindful of slowing down and catching your breath so that you don't let the sensation of feeling like the walls are closing in overtake. Because we can always think clearer and make decisions better when our brain gets more oxygen. And the easiest way to do that is to slow and deepen our breathing. So if we make that a daily practice, it's so helpful. Okay. He's showing me a very old-fashioned lawnmower. Now, it's not a petrol one, it's the old-fashioned roller one. Yeah. Okay. And it's leant up against a brick wall. Okay. So I don't know whether this is purely a memory link or saying that, you know, job's done. Because when I look back at the actual garden, the lawn, compared to what we're dealing with at this current situation, is beautifully green and it's beautifully mown in very meticulous rows. Okay. So I feel that he wants to commend you for dotting I's and crossing T's on something recently. You've been very meticulous at making sure something gets done correctly. That might be in your personal life, that might be in your work life, that's not for me to know, but as long as you can understand that, that's all that matters. He's just saying, well done for giving it due diligence. Okay. This man wasn't a gentleman of many words, but when he did say something, people stopped and paid attention. He made his words count. And this is what he's asking you to say. It's not about who can talk the loudest, it's about whose words carry weight. So do think about how you want to respond to people, even if they come across as a bit bullish or a bit confrontational. If you can keep that calm, then it takes the wind out their sails and they lose that overbearing dominance, because he doesn't want you to feel pushed down. Okay, wonderful. He's also talking about doors opening for you, please. Now, when we're given an opportunity in life, it's entirely up to us whether we take the key that Spirit gives us and open the door or not. Nothing wrong, he's saying, in peeping through the keyhole first and almost thinking what the outcome might be like should you choose to take that opportunity, and what your outcome might be like if you don't, and see which one feels right. It's not about making that decision with your heart and your emotions. It's not about making it completely logically with your mind. It's about making it with your gut. Okay, wonderful. But I just get this overwhelming sense of, come on, girl. You know, and he was very straightforward when he gave praise, when he gave encouragement. He's like, come on, girl. And I will say bless you and thank you for working with me. Okay. If I may return back to being online, Richard, if you could scroll through the names of those that are linking with us to see who Spirit wants to come to. Thank you very much. Thank you, Millie, for saying with the messages. That's much appreciated. I've always said I can only give what Spirit asked me to say, so if it resonates with people, I'm glad. Okay. Helen Mansell, if I may come to you, I love those butterflies. Hello and welcome. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Okay. As I link with you, I have a female communicator for you, Helen, and I feel an overwhelming sense of tiredness with this lady at the very end of her life, as if I just wanted to just go to sleep and it all be over. And obviously I do appreciate a time delay for you giving that confirmation or clarification, but that's the first sense that I get with this lady that wants to give you a message today. All right, bless you, Helen. I feel a very gentle soul with this lady, a very unassuming character. She didn't need to be centre of attention. And when she did something that deserved credit, it took her a while to sort of acknowledge that praise and be comfortable with that credit. Okay, as long as you can understand who that is. Thank you, Helen. But she never stopped trying to be there for the people in her life and caring for the people. But what she wants to say to you is it was never at the sacrifice of herself as an individual. She did take time to take care of herself. And okay, you might remember this, but I'm getting a little pot of cream on her dressing table. So at the end of the day, she would always put hand cream on and face cream on. She would have always looked after her hair, first thing in the morning, last thing at night. Obviously, if she was going out for a special occasion as well. But what she's saying is she was able to help other people, able to look after people because she took care of herself as well. And that's really what she wanted to come forward and say to you. Please don't try and be everything to everyone without refueling your own tank, my lovely. Okay. She's making me aware of February as being significant to you. Now, sometimes that's a birthday, sometimes that's a wedding anniversary or an anniversary of a passing, or something very personal that happened to you that you would remember in that month. But she's also showing me beautiful snowdrops and crocuses with that mention of February. So sort of towards the end of winter and just the treat or the little tease of spring coming there. I'm also being asked to mention that you have seen butterflies. I know you put butterfly emojis on your message earlier and that caught her attention, but she's also mentioning that you have actually physically seen butterflies in the last week, whether that is in your own garden space or outdoor space or out and about. She's making me aware and acknowledging that you have seen actual butterflies recently. Just of evidence that she knows exactly. Okay, bless you. Thank you for that confirmation, Helen. She's suddenly giving me the sense of rolling out pastry or kneading dough. I feel very hands-on cook with her, a very straightforward cook with her. She didn't pretend that she was cordon bleu, but she was very good at what she knew. Very good at cooking from scratch. So that's why she's showing me kneading dough or rolling out pastry. And she certainly loved making the effort when friends or family came round for a meal. It seemed to give her extra little oomph of making those little gestures of care and attention about the meal rather than just the everyday supper. She's also mentioning a bouquet of flowers with a pale blue bow round it. And I don't know whether this is a memory link or something you have recently just been aware of, but she's talking about a bouquet wrapped up in the film with a pale blue bow. Oh, beautiful. Thank you for that confirmation about the butterflies. Okay. Please take her love, please take her support, because she's willing you to be able to keep going so that you've got the energy for the things that you want to do in life, not just for the things that you need to do in life. That seems to be quite an important part of the message. And I will say bless you and thank you for joining us today. As I'm being guided to come back to the church, I'm just looking around, seeing who I'm being guided to come to. Can I come to the lady in the stripy top, please? Good morning. Hello, bless you. Hi. Okay. As I'm being asked to link with you, I've got a gentleman that I feel is on an uncle vibration. Now, that could be blood uncle, uncle by marriage, or just friend of family that you grew up calling uncle. I feel quite a traditional short back and sides, very dark hair with him. At one point, you would have remembered him or seen a photo of him with a moustache, but I don't feel a very thick moustache. It was just a little light sprinkle. But I don't think it stayed there for very long. It was a phase. Let's just see if that works, but it didn't really. But he's laughing about that because what is the overriding factor over and above his physical appearance in your life was his personality. I feel a very easygoing character with him. He was a gentleman that would quite happily have gone down the garden and pushed the kids on the swings and got down on the floor and played with puzzles or toys with them. He wouldn't have just stuck around with the grown-ups. He would have got stuck in with the kids as well. Okay. And the reason he's coming forward is he's saying there was one person you thought might come through today, but he feels it would have been a bit too emotional or poignant if they had have come through. So Spirit are asking him to come through just because it might be easier and a bit less emotional. Okay. And he just wants to be mindful of your sensitivity. Okay. Because he was someone that considered people's feelings. He was someone that genuinely cared about the repercussions of his words and his actions for other people. He wasn't a flippant gentleman at all. He had a sense of humour, but that's not the same. Okay. And he's saying that people around you haven't always given you that same consideration. He's mindful that there are some quite blunt people around you that don't consider how they say things. It's not always what they say, but how they say it. And I'm always mindful with modern technology, with things like emails and text messages that can come across blunt when they're not intended to be. So he's saying, never be afraid just to quantify things with people. You know, did you mean that? Or, you know, it might be just because it's a text, but I'm just checking. You know, never be afraid just to have that little bit of dialogue to clarify things, because he would never want you to take things in deeply that were never meant in that vein. Okay. But he says sensitivity can also be a blessing because it has granted you compassion for other people. It has granted you empathy for other people. And certainly, you know, majority of mediums would absolutely confirm as well that they couldn't do their work without that level of sensitivity and empathy and compassion. So it can be a blessing as well, because it means that you don't just see things at face value, you understand that ripple effect. You understand how people take things on board at a deeper level. He's suddenly giving me the image of a great big multicolored beach ball. So I don't know whether there is a memory link of you and him at the beach or just playing with a beach ball in a garden. But it's almost like he wants to sort of throw and catch with you with this beautiful, vibrant beach ball, because he wants to bring laughter back into your life. It's as if things have been very much on autopilot recently. And it's not about the specifics, it's let's just get through this the best we can. You know, as long as we get there, we can deal with things afterwards, but let's just get to that end point. Then we can relax, then we can take stock again. Yeah, okay, wonderful. He says you've been having a process of clearing out in your life and letting go over the last couple of years. That is your thoughts, your actions, your memories, your beliefs, and you're really trying to let go of things that might be holding you back, because you really want to move forward in a different way. You want to feel lighter and brighter, and some people have gone out of your life. He's saying not before time, because he's showing me an air balloon now, and it's as if they are the ropes keeping you grounded rather than letting you float up and raise your energy. Okay. He says never worry if people or situations leave your life, because it's creating room for new, better things to come in that would serve you better going forward. And he wants to put that beautiful colour of a cloudless sky around you, not only for healing, and I'm mindful of the beautiful flowers right next to you as well that are very like that colour, but also for comfort, because he wants to put a sense of calm and tranquility in your life. As if, don't be in a rush to replace the old for new. Just let things settle, just have a pause, and then you can decide if you want to fill gaps or not, because sometimes it's better to have a bit of gap or breathing space and then go forward later on. Okay. Okay. We had the beach ball earlier in your message. He's now giving me the image of exploring rock pools at the beach and having a bucket to put things in. I don't know whether it was collecting shells or looking for other things, but he's showing me it might even be symbolic of you looking for things that interest you in your life. Okay, as long as you understand it, that's all that matters. But he's really showing me you taking your time. It's not just a quick glance, it's really looking at the detail, really exploring. Because he says, you've always been a thorough-minded person. And it has served you well. That attention to detail has served you well, because you have spotted things that maybe friends haven't or work colleagues haven't, and it has averted larger mistakes as a consequence. So he says, please give yourself a pat on the back. Some people might say you're being overly thorough or pedantic, but there are people that make a living of proofreading, of editing. So that attention to detail can be positive in situations as well. And as he said, he's mindful that you have averted more serious problems as a consequence of that due diligence. So take that pat on the back, because Spirit always give it when it's justifiably earned. And lastly, he's just giving you a stick of candy floss. He says, because life can't always be cheese sandwiches, we have to enjoy the sweetness as well. And I always say, bless you. Okay, if I may return to being back online again, Richard, if you can scroll the names, that would be much appreciated. Thank you, Kay, and I feel guided to come to you. So thank you for your acknowledgement of the messages. As I'm being asked to link with you, I have a grandmother energy here. I feel slim. I don't feel much taller than myself, only about 5'6", so just a smidge taller than me. I feel very elegantly dressed with this lady. She was someone that absolutely took pride in her appearance, not just day to day, but special occasions as well. She would absolutely made sure that all the waves in her hair were just so, that necklaces always laid flat if she wore something. And also I'm being shown particular attention to my hands, very neatly manicured nails, very nicely polished and well kept. What she wants to say to you is that didn't just happen overnight. It took an amount of time to get that confidence, to get that ability, to have that level of skill and attention. So what she's saying for you, please, is don't be downhearted if something worthwhile is taking a little bit longer to master. We know from Spirit that anything worth having, okay, thank you for that confirmation. I'd certainly felt a grandmother energy with her. Okay. But she's saying anything worthwhile is worth working towards. So don't worry if things don't slot into place or you understand things immediately. Just keep going and things will find their place for you. She's also talking about you bringing skills together and blending abilities to use for the future. So in other words, not just using one skill at one time, but using a variety of skills for a task so that you can absolutely tailor make it for the situation and for the people that you're connecting with. Okay. She's showing me, oh, okay, thank you. But she's asking you to keep going because I feel a little bit more perseverance and things will be understood a bit better. Okay. She's showing me a beautiful wicker basket. Now, I remember those from my grandmother's generation, more for the garden, when it came to picking flowers or picking vegetables from the garden. And beautiful twisted wicker handle on it as well. But it's as if she's saying you have a reason to display or show something that you have achieved or created. Don't just hide it away in the corner. She says there's a reason to put it on show. There's a reason to be proud of something for you. She's also mentioning on a different level that you've had concerns about a friend recently here on the earth plane. But she's saying they're very good at mentioning things when it's easy to deal with things. So please don't be overly concerned about them. She's now giving me the image of a teddy bear. Now, I don't know whether this is a memory link of receiving a teddy bear from her, or whether it is symbolic of having just some love, just some affection and some comfort from somebody in your life, or you offering that to somebody else. But she's just showing the image of a teddy bear there. Okay. But please take her love, please take her comfort that she brings forward for you. Because she says no one wants to feel that they're dealing with a situation by themselves, and she will still answer your questions as she always did, but just needing to be a bit more creative in how you receive those answers. And I will say bless you. Okay.
Actually come to time.
Okay, thank you so much, everybody, and thank you very much for your attendance today.
The time goes too quickly. enjoying things. So it's nice to get the confirmation from Kay with a lovely message. Thank you for a lovely service this morning, Ashley. And, you know, I'm sure when we all leave here today, we feel uplifted by the messages that we've heard and been part of today. Okay, now what I will do is, as I say, thank you all for coming. Thank Richard for producing the show to enable us to go live. And to say I've thanked Ashley for that. Don't forget to have a little look on the Spiritual Psychics TV to see the different things that you can get online, and have a little look at that directory and that magazine. And, you know, I cannot remember who our medium is for next week. Jeff Hewitt will be joining us, so that would be lovely to see Jeff. So he'll be here, and we're getting some nice thank yous at the moment on the screen, Ashley, so you have to see them. And so quite a few people have said lovely readings. It's always nice to get that immediate, you know, time back, you know, where people, and you know, that is lovely. It gives us that energy for the rest of the week. So if I can just ask you if you will close in prayer for us.
If you'd all like to close your eyes, bow your heads one more time, wherever you are. Divine Spirit, Mother, Father, God, we thank you for your communication, your acknowledgement, your upliftment and your support, but most of all, your love. Help us to feel your presence, supporting, comforting and uplifting us in the coming days until we have the chance to meet again. We ask a blessing for all those that have come to the church as they make their journeys home. Amen.
So once again, thank you for all being part of our physical service here, but our worldly service as well. And we're still seeing thank yous that are coming through via people all over the country. And Margaret saying thank you, Ashley. So many thank yous there. So once again, you know, we have our love and blessings for the week until we see most of you again here next Sunday. And the new faces, perhaps we'll see you there again, which will be nice to be part of the congregation. Okay, so take care, everyone. Richard, thank you very much for producing the show, and a busy day for you with different events. So do have a look. And Joe's saying, thank you, actually, awesome. So being given an awesome, which is a lovely word to finish on. So thank you very much, everyone. Okay, Richard.